going to emphasize how a little thing turns out to be a big thing. A rather insignificant happening.
Yeah, wait,
Like a coaster.
It holds a lot of energy.
My sodium is great.
Yeah.
Can we please throw down some water?
Huh?
Can we drop some sodium in some water?
I got to see how much I got.
That's fantastic.
Will anybody notice?
That's why you leave with a bang.
Huh?
You go out with a bang.
Go out with a bang.
Well, he's not going out.
Well, I mean, it's not like thermite in the classroom.
That's why you're here.
Okay, my story, go.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, when I got out of the Navy, I was employable because I had that experience, operating nuclear reactors and being a nuclear officer and all that kind of thing. So I went through some job hunters, and one of them was for General Electric. And so I ended up being a job at General Electric. And it was basically to become startup reactor operator, so I could go basically be a startup engineer at General Electric plants. Now, General Electric plants, you guys, they're pretty infamous because that's the plant in Fukushima, the General Electric. It's a BWR, fully water reactor. So it's a single containment structure kind of thing where you break one thing, there's a good chance that things going south. Where for our case, benefit, Jalbert-Canyon is a pressurized water reactor, so there's two basically boundaries. So back to the story. But I like having a PWR here better than BWR, just let me say that. Okay. So I had to go back to Oklahoma for the training. It was going to be a 3-month training in Oklahoma. That's where their simulator was. Turns out, before I forget, that training, the person who's giving the training, I'll never forget this. Her name was Dorothy, and she had a dog named Toto. Yes, with me, all right? What? So anyway, they wanted me to go back in July or something like this, and I said, no, I can't go back until August or something. So in that case, they said, well then come to San Jose and work for a few weeks here in San Jose, and then you can go back. So I reported to San Jose, and we had to buzz in, and they would send someone down. Well, they sent this one girl down, and her name was Donna, and it turns out, she said later on, she'd never gone down to meet any of the guys before. This was the first time someone else usually went, but they were busy. So basically I met her and spent a couple weeks working with her. And so then I went to Oklahoma for 3 months, and I was the only person to get reassigned back to San Jose of our class. It was like a dozen or so. Most people went out to the field, and I got reassigned back to San Jose to work there. And so I'm there a little bit. Back in the spring, she graduated early and came back to work at the building. Since I'd seen her before, she came back, like, oh, So I remember her her going out with her mom at lunch one day and saying something about this guy was bugging her, and it was like, it wasn't me, okay. This guy was bugging her, and she said, maybe she's just telling him I'm going out with somebody, going out with John. She said, tell me going out with Dave, I didn't actually say that, but I was thinking it was because right behind her. So she was working downstairs, and this is a good line, guys. It's hard for a girl to say no, okay? So I came in like around, I don't know, noon or 12, around 1 o'clock, so after lunch, came in and said, hey, have you had dinner yet? Hey, where am I? So, and that was, I don't know, 4 or 5, 5, 6, 5, 4, 5, something like that.
After the bar fight.
It's definitely post-Kawhi. So I guess the point being is if I hadn't come to San Jose for those couple of weeks and that whole thing hadn't happened, I probably would have turned out totally different. Is what I'm saying. So just a little thing like that can shift things up tremendously.
How many years with your wife?
26. Yeah, I have a daughter. She's 23. She's up in San Francisco. She works for a startup company called Nextgate. And it does basically for social media, kind of keeps your social media integrity because that's becoming kind of a big deal now. So that's what they do. They work with companies to make sure that they are aware of all the little places that social media can show up now for companies, and people can do all sorts of things with their name that you're not even aware of. I think it's going to be big. So that's a startup. And then my son, he's still here. He's going to be starting in Cal Poly. He actually went to Cuesta for 2 years, and then he's transferring to Cal Poly this fall. He's doing water management. Can you imagine? Might be a job in that.
That's gonna be a good job, Sue.
Good job right now.
Oh yeah.
You can join the water barn.
Water is pretty, obviously.
As in like treatment plants or
Pardon me?
treatment plants or like overall water usage or
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that's all going to play out. I think he'd like to work with communities, in water resource.
Can we amass the various components of the room to see the craziest chemical reaction you can legally and safely produce?
safety is the
You ain't trying to
Dump truck.
You know that lab where you had the dump truck and we were supposed to like go around and
Now I never quite came to fruition.
it's so much fun.
I know, I still remember Angela playing with those.
It's a toy. I like toys. It's fun.
Do I have any chemicals? They try to
I remember when you had
Yeah. Well,
Mr. Holy, that's your office phone.
my office phone?
Yeah, you'll be correct. Next time someone answers and say
Before you call back.
We are more important than the telephone.
They're probably telling us all to go to class.
I talked to Pierce.
That's the job. I don't even remember where that is.
How do you get this number?
I'll check to see if we have any stuff. But I'm kind of wondering, how to fit everyone around this stuff.
Make it
Let's just make a crater in the baseball field.
There is a square courtyard right to the left of the library. It's about twice the size of this classroom and provides a perfect pavilion area that we can all watch.
True.
The problem is,
Conspicuous.
who mentioned Max Forsman today?
Me.
Okay. Case in point.
It wasn't that bad. I mean,
Now, Max Forsman was in my first class, plus them all. They went through Sorry. And I remember doing this very experiment for Max, sodium explosion. I had done it, I don't know how many times at Judkins. And what I had used was, I had the container, and then I had a screen, metal screen that I used, and I put weights to weight it down, And so I can do it, I don't know, I'd say I probably did that 15, 20 times at least, you know. So that day I did it again, and all of a sudden Max yells out this shriek. During the explosion, one of the little pieces of sodium had actually flown through the thing somehow and actually landed on his arm. And it actually burned his arm in like a couple places. I think Gary got a little bit too. No, it was a dare. That's a dares. You remember Dare Gomez?
Yes.
A dare. He was always complaining how he got hit. Well, his shirt got a little hole in it, you know. Now, yeah, you know. And it's like, I think I gave him a free idea shirt. He's like, okay, here, shut up. Max actually did take a hit. He actually got.
He still has a little scar.
Yeah, got burned in a couple spots. He wears it with pride, I'm sure.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And this happened. Sodium on my arm. I didn't stood in there, man. I took it.
Alright,
Take more than that.
let's do that. Hit record form.
Okay, story that'll change your perspective on something. All right, so as my sophomore year, sitting in the library at SC, and doing homework or something. I don't know, messing around. A guy walks up to me and says, "Hey, now this was 1977, 78. Okay, walks up and says, "Hey, how'd you like to earn $3,000 this summer?" That was a lot of money back in 1978, right? So he had my attention. So, sure. So he gives me his card.